This is Border Crossings, your first choice for the biggest names in today's popular music. I'm Larry London. I'll join you as we welcome Australian singer-songwriter Conrad Sewell. The last 12 months have been very exciting for Conrad, who earned the Australian Recording Industry's Award for Song of the Year after being nominated for 3. Following the success of his debut EP, All I Know, Conrad experienced fame back in 2014 as the vocalist on a hit from Kygo called Firestone, which reached #1 on many European charts. He followed that with his own #1 single, Start Again. And now he has a new project with Avicii and is finishing his debut studio album. Conrad Sewell is our guest on today's Border Crossings. Hi, I'm Larry London, and I welcome you to Border Crossings. Today in our studios, young, talented singer-songwriter on the road again. This time it's for his brand new album, which is called All I Know. We welcome to Washington and to Border Crossings, Conrad Sewell. It's great to have you here.
It's great to be here.
And first of all, congratulations on the big award.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was for that song. It was kind of, it was a pretty special night. I didn't expect it, so it was cool.
Now, I was reading somewhere where you were going against your sister in a category?
I was, yeah. It was for Song of the Year, and Grace, my sister, was up for it with a song that she did called You Don't Know Me. So it was crazy that we were both nominated, but it was nice that I'm older than her. So I've been doing it for a lot longer than her. So as well. So if she won an award before me, that would be kind of massively depressing. So luckily I won, and I could sort of,
That's fantastic.
I've always going to have that over her now, So.
Well, obviously you have a talented musical family. Has music always been the thing for you?
Yeah, pretty much. I was from a young age, from 7 or 8, I was always just singing around the house. And my grandparents, they were entertainers, and, my mum grew up in a very musical house, so that sort of, got passed on to us kids, and we were writing songs and stuff like that. And then my sister sort of followed in my footsteps, I guess. There's a 9-year age difference, so she sort of saw me growing up in the industry and trying to make it, and I guess she decided that was the path she wanted to take, and she's got an incredible voice too. And you decided,
have you ever collaborated, or
we have? Yeah, we wrote songs our whole lives together, and we just did one that's I think is really great that I think I'm going to put on my album. But it's hard. We've both got specific tones, and we're both very competitive. So whenever we get in the studio, we tend to oversing each other. But yeah, a lot of people want us to do something together. We're playing our first gig together actually next week in LA, which is going to be cool because we haven't, especially in the last year, now that things have really started to kick off, shared the stage. So that's going to be nice.
And it's an exciting time for you too. With the award and the new album and being on tour as you have the last couple of years, a lot is going on in your life.
Yeah, there is. It's very exciting. And you just sort of, try and just keep working hard. It's still early days, even though it feels like you've been doing it forever. So, right. And I guess you kind of have to remember that. But there's still, there's millions of people I want to reach with my music. So I'm just trying to do that.
And you were born in London, raised in Australia, and now you have a home here in the U.S.
Yeah, I live in LA now. So yeah, I guess you could say I've sort of been around.
You have been.
But I like LA. I like living in LA. I love that. There's been a lot of opportunity that's been presented to me, since living there, and it's cool. The weather's good. It's just like Australia. There's the beach. There's pretty girls. There's great food. So I'm enjoying the Cali lifestyle.
And how did you? Born in London, how did you end up growing up?
Well, my dad's British, and he's got a big family over there, and my mum's Australian. So we kind of played tug of war at the beginning because mum missed her family and dad would miss her. We just bounced back and forth from England to Australia, and then I think we just settled in Australia, when I was about 10, because it was just it's a quality of life in Australia that you don't get anywhere. So I consider myself very much Australian because that's where I went to high school, that's where I grew up, and I have an Australian accent, I guess, so it makes me Australian. But yeah, but it was cool. It was good because I got to experience both parts of the world. They're very different, and even musically, that helped me because I would go back and I would see all the music that was happening in England and all the bands that were coming up that I would never get to hear in Australia. And I'd sort of take them back, and, I got two different music industries as well.
And you start missing the cooking, I imagine. I mean, the food in LA is not the food in Australia. So.
That's very true. Yeah, no, Australia has incredible food and incredible coffee as well. So, but luckily now I get to go back a bit. We went back about 6 times last year, which was great because we had a bit of success there, and it's nice. But you can't beat the freshness of the food in Australia. The breakfasts in particular are crazy.
Been to Perth, been to Sydney.
Been to Perth, yeah. Perth's a great place. It's the other thing about Australia. It's like here, you can go to a different city and it's really different. You can feel it, the culture and the food and just the general vibe. So I do miss Australia. It's a great place. And
I'm interested also in the fact that your influences in music are kind of old school. I mean, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, you were listening to Mom's music, I guess, from what I read, and then that's kind of what helped you to decide where you wanted to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I guess Motown was sort of, even now, like whenever I hear a Motown bass line or anything that's remotely in that vein, that's the thing that excites me or that, that tickles my musical ear. And then that sort of, as you do with music, you sort of discover new things and, you discover the Beatles for the first time and you look at the songwriting of that and then, just pop in general, I guess. I've always had a love for pop music, so that's sort of, that comes into my songwriting as well. But yeah, soulful voices were always something that just I attached myself to and I would mimic growing up. You know what I mean? I wanted to sound like Michael Jackson when I was little and I wanted to... When my mum was in love with Simply Red, so I would sing, Simply Red, which is probably a bit weird for a kid at that age to be singing Simply Red. But
what a voice Mick Hucknall has.
But incredible voice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, just unique voices I was always drawn to. That's kind of...
And by 13, you said, I want to have a contract.
Yeah.
I want to do this.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, my mum, my mum's a very, she's a big dreamer. She sort of started a magazine out of a newspaper, out of a scrapbook and went around and tried to get local businesses to advertise in a scrapbook. And I saw her turn that into, a national magazine. And so, to go for something, to shoot for the stars was sort of, built into me, I guess. So yeah, I didn't want to sing in the choir or go do something at school with my music. I asked my mum, how do we get a record deal? At 12, which is a pretty weird thing for a 12-year-old kid to ask for. But I'm glad that was in me because that really made me pack up my bags and move to Europe at 17 and, with no money and knock on songwriters' doors and producers' doors and try and make it happen. Still taking forever to get there, but I kind of imagine what would have happened if I would have started later. I guess it just wouldn't have happened.
Well, Conrad Sewell is here and on the road for the new EP, and you brought some musician friends with you. Can you introduce your gang?
Yes, I've got my boy Gabe on the keys, and Phil is playing the guitar, but he's also an incredible bass player. He's usually my bass player, so don't blame him. And this is the beautiful Danny, who's an incredible voice, but she's going to sing backup for me today just to help me out because it's early.
All right. If you guys wouldn't mind doing a song for us, that would be great.
We'd love to do a song. Why don't we kick off with Firestone, which is sort of the first thing I put out.
That's right.
Mr. Kigo, or Kygo, however you want to say it. We on? We live? We'll put that.
I'm a flame, you're the fire. I'm the dark in need light. When we touch, you inspire. Feel the change in me tonight. So take me up, take me higher. There's a world not far from here. We can dance in desire. We can burn in love tonight. Our hearts alive, firestorm. When they strike, feel the love, sparks so fly. They ignite our bones. When they strike, we light up the world. west, you're from wide. You face strangers in the night. Oh, here we are, come together to the one. Let's testify. Hearts alive, firestorm. When they strike, you feel the light. Sparks so fly, they ignite our bones. When they strike, we light up the world. Hearts alive, firestorm. When they strike, you feel the light. Sparks so fly, they ignite our bones. When they strike, we light up the world. Oh no, oh no, hearts alive, firestorm. You know when they strike, you feel the light. Sparks so fly, they ignite our bones. When they strike, we light up the world. So we light up the Firestone.
All right, sounding great. Conrad
Thank you.
Sewell, live here on Border Crossings. 300 million streams for that song.
Yes.
That's pretty amazing.
Sorry.
I mean, that's right out of the box. There you go. 300 million streams, Kygo and you, and you've worked with Avicii and a number of other artists as well. You've been collaborating for a while.
Yes, I have. Sorry, I was trying to read something in the window.
Uh-oh.
I have. Yes, I've been working with Kygo was great. You know, obviously he was pretty unknown when I worked with him, but it that song kind of skyrocketed and put me onto the scene. Yeah, and the Avicii thing came about through Coca-Cola, which was kind of crazy.
Right, you're doing a big Coca-Cola campaign now.
We did the song together, which is like the new song for their campaign, and it was great. You know, he's super talented. To fly to Sweden and hang out in Sweden for a couple of days, and yeah, it's been cool. I've worked with a couple of dance guys, but I really want to get into some more hip hop stuff and feature, you know, get some of those features going on because that's really, you know, I love hip hop as well, and that's one thing I haven't dabbled in yet.
You're quite versatile, considering. I mean, you started with a rock
blessing
band,
and a
right?
curse, yeah. Yeah, I did. I started with a rock band. I mean, when I was like 17, the real like the indie rock era hit, I guess, you know, with the Strokes and Kings of Leon and the Arctic Monkeys and the Kooks and bands like that.
And Sons of Midnight.
And Sons of Midnight. I mean, I was literally, I was pretty much singing with a British accent. My British accent came back for a minute there. So I could be British and be a rock star. And that, but it was fun, you know. I was with my 4 best mates and, you know, we got a deal in Europe and, you know, we probably did more drinking than we did music making, but it was an experience, and it was kind of like, I guess, a test run for this. You know, I did a bit of press and I played festivals and, you know, mind you, I was drunk most of the time doing that, but it was still a learning curve. And then when now I'm playing with the big boys, I'm prepared and I don't come into an interview drunk or you know, get on stage and not be warmed up, and I take it much more seriously. It's a lot less fun, but it's more serious.
Now,
but,
and talking about the stage and being on big stages with the big boys, you've been with, I mean, if you know, Ed Sheeran and Jess Glenn and some pretty big names recently, Maroon 5, and now you're on tour with Andra Day here in the U.S.
Yes, I've been really lucky to support some cool artists and you know, especially like Ed, people like that. They kind of like gave me a big leg up. You know, with getting fans straight away and stuff like that. They got such big fan bases. And it's cool just to watch the best of the best do it. It kind of inspires you and makes me want to be better. And like I said, I'm very competitive, so I love kind of getting up there as the underdog, having an arena full of people not know who you are, and making them all turn their head and hopefully walk away being like, who was that guy who opened? That's sort of, that's the goal as an opening act, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool. I've definitely done some great supports. I'm definitely looking forward to doing my own headline now, though. I feel like we're sort of at that point where, we can start to sell out some venues, hopefully, and people will just be there to see me.
And that's the plan for this year?
Yeah. I mean, in Australia, we're already doing that. Like, I'm playing my own shows there. But for America, which is my, dream to be a big artist here, that's definitely the plan. So I think in the summer, we're probably going to do my first headline tour here.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully everyone will come out to the shows and I'll feel special, like I'm the number one instead of being the support.
Now, you did have, the tryout, I guess, for Australian Idol, I read somewhere, and that didn't turn out the way you'd hoped, but...
it was it's one of those things where it's like, it's a day in your life that's a permanent scar on your career.
Because guys like me keep bringing it up.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But yeah, I mean, to me, man, it was like the show had just started,
mm-hmm.
and Kelly Clarkson had been like one of the only winners, and she'd had an incredible year, and that. So for any singer not knowing how to get into the industry, and you see a TV show like this, and it was a great TV show, the first seasons, I think. It was like, wow, this is an incredible opportunity, and I could do that. Everyone's always told me I'm a great singer, and yeah, I think. And as you can see, millions of people audition around the world because it seems like a way to get there. But I definitely wasn't ready for it, and I definitely wasn't. Thankfully, didn't get through
mm-hmm.
because I knew like one song probably all the way through, and it's actually, I think those shows are really like draining, and
mm-hmm.
You've got to learn a new song every night, and my memory's terrible. I could never do that. So I think it didn't work out for me for the best, but I think everyone goes on their own path, and that was just something that I did. But like I said at the beginning, when you do something on national TV, it tends to stick to your Google page, unfortunately.
That's right.
So thanks, Google.
But I bet you they regret their decision not to have you on the show now. Look at you now.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially back home, like getting up and winning the ARIA for Song of the Year, and people... I mean, I'm lucky people don't really remember that I was on the show or anything like that, because
mm-hmm.
I literally didn't even get through the first stage.
Right.
So I don't think I made enough of an impact. Like, luckily I didn't get to like voting stages where
mm-hmm.
people were spending money on voting for me and stuff. But yeah, I think anyone who does remember is like, oh wow, he actually stuck to it, because it's a long time ago.
That's right. That's great. And now you're here in the U.S. and you're making a splash on the U.S. charts. We were playing, your first single off the EP for a while, and now I just saw the video for the new single and I loved it.
Thank you.
It's got a pretty serious message in the song.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's a song about memories and love and loss, and it was originally written about a girl and them not being in my life anymore, but it sort of took on a new meaning, I think, just people in general that aren't in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So when we shot the video, we wanted to just do something a little different, put a little spin on it and have it about, not to get too depressing, but have it about losing someone,
right.
Which I think is a global thing that every kid and every person can relate to, as that would just be a horrible thing to have to deal with, and a lot of people do deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think when you lose anyone in life, I think you should always try and, think about the great times that you spent with those people, and the things that made you love them and miss them. So it's been cool. I'm glad I was very involved in the process and like writing the script with it and stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's nice to have a little, get my Marty Scorsese on for a second. And
you're doing that next? I don't want to change your order of songs.
Well, I have been told I do look like Mark Wahlberg from time to time, only in The Rockstar, which I love. I'm a big Mark Wahlberg fan. But no, I'm actually a pretty terrible actor. But I mean, I'd love to try.
Mm-hmm.
But I have been
here
told
live.
I'm pretty crap.
Are you doing the song on the show?
Oh yeah, I'm going to do the song.
Okay,
I thought you were talking about my acting career.
No. No, I know you're handsome and you're going to be a successful actor. That I can see already.
Threat. I can dance as well.
That's it. You can dance too?
Not really, but I'm sure I could learn. I'm pretty good at learning.
You got it all going on. All right. Well, I don't know if this is the right time for the new song. Or...
Yeah, why not?
All right. Okay. Because I loved the video, even though it carried a sad message. I mean, it's kind of got a lot of subtlety.
It does have to. You want them to still feel like, you want people to be too depressed when they watch it, because then they won't want to watch it again. Right. So there's a glimmer of hope and a nice feeling that should even though...
And you shot your parts in a church, I guess.
I did, yeah. You know what? I'm an Irish Catholic boy, but for some reason, the church or something godly always creeps its way into my music or thingy. So yeah, we happen to shoot it in the church.
Well, what a pleasure to have Conrad Sewell here on the show, and I guess this is a perfect opportunity for the new single. Remind me if
yeah, let's do it.
All right,
let's
great.
do Remind Me. You can turn that up anyway because it wasn't feedbacking.
Please stay a little longer. Weight is on my shoulders, holding me down. Some days it can get much darker, feeling more than ever when you're not around. When I think about love, when you are right beside me, I think about us. You will always find me. My heart is lost. I know that you'll guide me. I think about all the little things that still remind me. These days, affliction's like a stranger. You are so much braver than me. Oh, save me from my demons. Teach me to defeat them and lead me to peace. Oh, when I think about love, you are right beside me. I think about us. You will always find me. My heart is lost. I know that you'll guide me. I think about all the little things that still remind me. When I'm living like there's nothing left to lose. Oh, when I turn my back on everything I knew. When I settle for the silence in the road, oh, remind me of you. To think about love, and you're right beside me. I think about us. I know that you'll find me. When my heart gets lost, I know that you'll guide me. I think about all the little things that still remind me. All the little things that still remind me. So all my life you remind me.
Thanks.
I love that song.
Thank you.
I
yeah.
do. That's a hit right there.
Really? I hope so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Remind Me is the name of the new single off of the EP, All I Know. So the EP usually precedes an album. What's the plan for 2016 for Conrad Sewell?
Well, the minute I get a chance to scratch myself, I will finish my album. I've just, it's been a blessing and a curse because I've been promoting stuff and we've had to fly to England, to Australia and kind of follow the roller coaster, which has been great. But it's also left me a limited amount of time to finish the album, which I started.
Right.
Which I started when I wrote Firestone, do you know what I mean? So it's been a while coming. But I have locked away, next month I'm going to be finishing it. And I'm just trying to get it done as soon as possible because I can't wait to have more music out there. I know if the fans are desperate for some new music, and then I can do my own headline tours and then stop being the support act.
That's right. That's coming. That's part of the plan.
So, as soon as possible, I'm just, but I also want it to be right. I could definitely put an album out tomorrow, but I feel like there's a couple of songs that I still am searching for, and I just, It's your first album. It's got to be great. You know?
Right. So when you put out an EP, and as a songwriter, I'm sure you've written hundreds of songs. How do you pick the ones that you want to put on your very first EP?
Well, obviously you've got a team of people that have opinions, which count for something. But I think I usually have a pretty good idea when I write something that I think is great. And like you said, when you've written hundreds of songs, you get a certain feeling when you write one that's special. And for the EP, I just picked the 6 that I thought were the best written songs, lyrically and melodically, and had a vibe that felt like it fit. Like, I think it was a good body of work of where I was at when I put it out. It had the little bits of pop and the MJ stuff I love, but then it had the big gospel ballads that I clearly is sort of my thing. So it was a great little piece to put out, but the album is going to be, I think, more of a solid sound, I guess. That's what I'm trying to create, so that people can fall in love with that as well as my voice.
And you'll add a little hip hop. That's what
I'm going to have some features. I did a song with Birdie, who's this girl from England who's incredible, and we wrote a great song together. And I worked with one of my idols, Craig David, and so there's a few features that I'm going to put on there, and hopefully a big hip hop one if my crew can get it together.
What do you think for titles?
For the album?
Yeah, for your first album. Have you thought of any?
I mean, I want it to be something about, I guess that's kind of obvious, about this journey that I've been on, but also about how I'm sort of coming into myself at, I love the title, Young Youth and Manhood, but it's a Kings of Leon title, so I can't say that. But something like that I think is really cool, because it's just sort of like, you grow up in trying to make this thing, and you have to learn, a lot of things about yourself while you're doing it. So,
And when you were putting the album together, the first EP, you're writing all these songs, you're creating this vision, a sound that you've had for a number of years. And then they bring in a heavyweight producer. Yeah. Did you have any concerns about that? Did you think, this is going to change what I want to do and my sound?
Not really. I mean, it's heavyweight producers. It's a funny term, because I've worked with a lot of heavyweight producers, and I don't know why they're heavyweights. Because it's really not about that. You can have hits with any producer. Sure. It's about finding a chemistry. I could have chemistry with you, and we could make a hit record.
Let's do it.
Let's do it now. And it's funny though. I think that's one thing I've learned in this process, is that just because people have had hits before, just because someone's produced for everyone under the sun and thing, it doesn't mean that you're going to walk in the room and they're going to be the guy for you. And that's one thing I've had to learn the hard way by working with a lot of, that sounds like I'm hard done by, but I've worked with a lot of great people, and I haven't got the magic. And then I've worked with people that are, relatively unknown, and there's been something there.
Right.
So, and I'm still searching for those people. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I've found my Quincy Jones yet. And I think you're really lucky if you do find that early on, because that is half the battle. Having a good voice and everything like that is just one element of what you need to make it in this industry. So, yeah, I hope the sound comes, and I hope it's something that everyone loves.
But I do love the new EP. The sound is definitely there, and you have a great sound, and I'm sure the fans around the world are going to fall in love with you if they haven't already fallen in love with you.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm sure a couple people have, but
we've
got plenty more.
That's right. There's room for more at the table, right?
Exactly.
And, also the song, let's go back to that song, the Coca-Cola song that you worked on with Avicii. And you mentioned you recorded it in Sweden, or worked on it in Sweden. That's for the Rio Olympics, right?
It's for the Olympics. It's for their
Olympics?
campaign. I am going to be the Olympics. I'm actually running the torch for part of the relay, which is pretty cool. It's
for Australia?
A bucket list. No, for just because I wrote the song, I get to.
Oh, great!
Yeah, because we did the song together. So it's I don't know if Avicii's doing it, but I'm not.
You're going to be.
I'm not missing out on that opportunity.
Don't share it with him. Just hold it.
He's had enough success.
He's had enough torches.
But yeah, so that's going to be cool. It's a great opportunity, because I get to I'm doing the NCAA, the basketball tournament next week, which I hear is a crazy.
You're singing, you're not playing.
I'm singing. I'm not playing. Although I probably could, take down a few of those boys on the basketball court. So there's all these cool gigs that I'm getting to do with the song, and it's their campaign song for the next, potentially 5 to 8 years. So who knows what that will.
To partner with Coca-Cola, that's huge. So.
It's not bad. I mean, Michael Jackson had Pepsi. I've got Coca-Cola.
That's right.
See,
watch the hair.
Yeah.
Don't let that
I
get
will.
off. Conrad Sewell in our studio and live here on Border Crossings. One more song before we go.
Yeah, why not?
And I know you're busy and on the road touring, so...
No, I'm very much enjoyed our chat. Very good at your job. This song is one of my favorites off the EP. It's called Shadow, and we're going to break it down for you acoustically right now.
Even when the city's dark, baby, I'll be underneath your feet. I'll be wherever you are, lady. See what no one else can see. I love to be your shadow. I wanna stand next to your fire. Said I love to be your shadow. With you all the time, with you all the time, yeah. I wanna go your way every night, girl, and every day. When you're sleeping or you're awake, I love to be your shadow. No need to be afraid. I'll let you know, girl, I'm here to stay. Say I'll be there every step you take. I love to be your shadow. So when you want me in your arms, baby, so I'll never be out of reach. Yeah, yeah. And when you wake up in the morning, ladies, with a sunrise in the east, said I love to be your shadow. Ooh, yeah. Wanna stay next to your fire. Said I love to be your shadow. With you all the time. I wanna go your way every night, girl, and every day. When you're sleeping or you're awake, I love to be your shadow. No need to be afraid. I'll let you know, girl, I'm here to stay. So I'll be there every step you take. I love to be your shadow. With you all the time. No, no, I love to be your shadow. With you all the time, all the time. Yeah, I wanna go your way every night, girl, and every day. Sleeping or you're awake, I love to be your shadow. No need to be afraid. I'll let you know, girl, I'm here to stay. So I'll be there every step you take. I love to be your shadow. Be your shadow. Be your shadow. Be your shadow.
Great.
Thanks.
Well, obviously, Shazam and Pandora know what they're talking about. Conrad Sewell, an artist to watch this year, and
Thank you very
I'm sure
much.
well into the future. If people want to follow you on the road or follow you on social media, how do they get a hold of you?
Conrad Official is my everything. I am the official one.
You're the
Not the
official
fake
Conrad.
one. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. I had fun.
It's a pleasure to meet you. All I Know is the name of the EP. Conrad Sewell is on tour. Check him out when he comes to perform in your neighborhood. I'm Larry London, and this is Border Crossings.